Have you ever stood in the gardening aisle, looked at a bag of potting mix, glanced at the price tag, and wondered why you're spending so much money on something that looks like ordinary dirt? Yet most gardeners keep buying it, year after year, season after season. Eventually, many people realize they've spent hundreds of dollars on potting soil that could have been made at home for far less money, and often with better results. Today, you'll discover how to create your own potting mix and stop relying on expensive store-bought blends. This isn't because commercial potting soils are necessarily bad. The real reason is that once you understand what they're made of and how simple they are to recreate, you'll realize you can customize a superior mix for your own garden. By the end of this guide, you'll know how to build a lightweight, nutrient-rich, biologically active growing medium tailored specifically for vegetables, herbs, flowers, houseplants, or container-grown fruit trees. And the best part? You can create a mix that's more affordable, longer-lasting, and often more productive than many commercial products. Let's start with something that surprises many gardeners. Potting soil isn't actually soil. True garden soil is dense and heavy. While it performs well in the ground where natural drainage, earthworms, microbes, and soil structure are constantly at work, it behaves very differently inside a container. In pots, garden soil tends to compact, reducing airflow and trapping excessive moisture around roots. Over time, this can lead to poor growth and root problems. That's why quality potting mixes feel light and fluffy. Rather than using soil, they rely on carefully selected ingredients designed to achieve three important goals: proper airflow, balanced moisture retention, efficient nutrient storage. Everything in a successful potting mix revolves around these three principles. Once you understand them, making your own mix becomes surprisingly simple. Most commercial blends contain variations of the same basic ingredients: a moisture-holding material such as peat moss or cocoa coir, an aeration ingredient like perlite or pumice compost, or another source of nutrients. Occasionally added fertilizers or moisture retention additives. That's essentially the entire recipe. Now let's build a better version. The first component is the moisture-retaining base. Cocoa coir has become one of the most popular choices among gardeners. Made from coconut husks, it absorbs and stores water extremely well while remaining loose and airy. It also re-wets easily after drying out and is considered a renewable resource. Peat moss is another effective option. It creates a light structure and holds moisture efficiently, although it can become difficult to rehydrate if allowed to dry completely. Your moisture-retaining ingredient should make up roughly 1/3 of the mix. Next comes aeration. Healthy roots need oxygen just as much as they need water. Without adequate air pockets, roots struggle to function properly and may eventually rot. Perlite is the most common aeration material. These lightweight white particles help improve drainage and prevent compaction. Pumice performs a similar role but has the advantage of being heavier, so it remains evenly distributed throughout the mix instead of gradually floating upward. Coarse sand can also be useful in some situations, but only if the particles are large enough. Fine sand often creates the opposite effect by increasing compaction. Aeration materials should account for approximately 1/3 of the total mix. The final and arguably most important ingredient is compost. Compost provides far more than nutrients. It introduces beneficial microorganisms, improves soil structure, increases organic matter, and creates a living environment around plant roots. This is one area where homemade potting mixes frequently outperform commercial products. Many store-bought blends contain relatively little compost and rely heavily on synthetic fertilizers for nutrition. By adding rich, mature compost, you're creating a living ecosystem that continuously supports plant health. The compost portion should make up the final third of your mix. The result is a simple but highly effective formula: 1 part cocoa coir or peat moss, 1 part perlite or pumice, 1 part compost. This balanced blend provides moisture retention, airflow, and long-term fertility. However, the real advantage comes from customizing the mix for specific crops. 1. Tomatoes and peppers. Tomatoes and peppers are among the most nutrient-demanding crops grown in containers. They grow quickly, develop extensive foliage, and eventually produce large quantities of flowers and fruit. To support this process, they require both excellent root aeration and consistent nutrition. Begin with the standard 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 base mix. Then improve it with targeted amendments. A generous amount of worm castings is an excellent addition. Worm castings provide slow-release nutrients, beneficial microorganisms, trace minerals, and natural plant growth compounds that encourage vigorous development without risking fertilizer burn. Next, add approximately 1 tablespoon of bone meal per container. Bone meal supplies phosphorus, an essential nutrient for root growth, flowering, and fruit production. Plants lacking phosphorus often produce fewer flowers and smaller harvests. Adding crushed eggshells or another calcium source can also be beneficial. Calcium supports healthy cell development and may help reduce the risk of blossom end rot, a common problem that affects tomatoes and peppers. For additional fertility, consider incorporating a small amount of aged manure or an organic slow-release fertilizer. These crops thrive when nutrients are supplied steadily throughout the growing season. Soil texture is especially important. Tomatoes and peppers dislike waterlogged conditions. Their roots require oxygen, so if the mix feels too heavy, increase the aeration component slightly. In hot climates, larger containers can help stabilize moisture levels and reduce stress during periods of extreme heat. As plants mature, supplemental feeding every few weeks with compost tea, fish emulsion, or another organic fertilizer can help maintain strong growth and improve fruit production. When the soil environment is properly balanced, you'll notice strong root systems, healthy green foliage, thick stems, consistent flowering, larger harvests. The goal isn't simply to feed the plant, it's to create an environment where the plant can thrive. 2. Leafy greens. Lettuce, spinach, and similar crops. Leafy greens have very different requirements. Unlike tomatoes and peppers, they aren't focused on producing fruit. Their primary objective is rapid leaf growth. Because of this, their ideal potting mix should retain slightly more moisture. Start with the same basic formula but make a few adjustments. Reduce the amount of perlite or pumice slightly while increasing the compost portion. Greens benefit from consistent moisture and higher nitrogen availability, both of which are supported by additional compost. The finished mix should feel soft, light, and slightly moisture retentive. When squeezed, it should hold together briefly before crumbling apart. Since leafy vegetables grow quickly, they can exhaust available nutrients sooner than many gardeners expect. Regular applications of compost tea or diluted fish emulsion every few weeks help maintain vigorous growth and deep green foliage. One of the biggest mistakes gardeners make with leafy greens is allowing the soil to dry out repeatedly. Inconsistent watering often leads to stress, bitterness, and premature bolting. A slightly richer compost content helps stabilize moisture levels and protects roots from temperature fluctuations. In warmer weather, adding a thin mulch layer of straw or shredded leaves can further improve moisture retention. When the soil is balanced correctly, you'll enjoy rapid growth, tender leaves' rich green color, improved flavor, extended harvest periods. While fruiting crops demand maximum aeration and heavy feeding, leafy greens perform best with stable moisture and a reliable supply of nitrogen. The foundation remains the same. The adjustments are what create exceptional results. And that's the true advantage of understanding how potting mixes work, instead of simply buying whatever happens to be available on the shelf. 3. Herbs, such as basil and parsley. Herbs occupy a special category when it comes to container gardening. Many of them, particularly basil, grow much faster than people anticipate. However, unlike heavy-feeding crops such as tomatoes or peppers, herbs generally do not require large amounts of fertilizer. In fact, excessive feeding often has the opposite effect, reducing the quality of the harvest. For herbs, flavor matters far more than size. Start with a well-balanced foundation consisting of coco coir for moisture retention, compost for nutrients and microbial activity, and perlite for drainage and root aeration. Once the base mix is prepared, make 2 important modifications. The first adjustment is increasing aeration slightly. Add a little more perlite or pumice than you would normally use for leafy vegetables. Many herbs, especially Mediterranean varieties, dislike constantly wet roots. Improved airflow around the root zone promotes healthier growth and helps minimize fungal diseases, particularly in warm and humid environments. The second adjustment is reducing the compost content somewhat. Although basil and parsley still require nutrients, they perform better in soil that is not excessively rich. Overly fertile conditions often encourage lush, soft growth, with diluted essential oils resulting in weaker fragrance and less concentrated flavor. A balanced soil is not the same as poor soil. The goal is moderation rather than excess. Basil performs best with steady but moderate fertility. Light applications of diluted compost tea every 3 to 4 weeks are usually enough to support vigorous growth while preserving its characteristic aroma and taste. Parsley is slightly more nutrient demanding. Mixing a small amount of worm castings into the soil at planting time provides a gentle, slow-release source of nitrogen that supports healthy growth without overstimulating the plant. Good drainage remains essential. If containers stay wet for extended periods, roots can become deprived of oxygen. Herbs often react quickly to root stress, showing symptoms such as yellow leaves, wilting despite moist soil, and reduced fragrance. Container size also influences performance. Smaller pots dry more rapidly and can sometimes intensify flavor, although they require more frequent watering. Larger containers maintain moisture more consistently and encourage steady growth. For Mediterranean herbs such as rosemary, thyme, and oregano, drainage can be enhanced even further. These species evolved in rocky, mineral-rich environments and thrive in soils that dry quickly and contain relatively little organic matter. Increasing the proportion of perlite or pumice while reducing compost helps recreate these natural conditions. When the growing environment is properly balanced, the results become obvious. Basil develops a full, upright growth habit with thick, aromatic leaves. Parsley stays richly green and continues producing foliage steadily. Plants release a noticeable fragrance with even the slightest touch. Leaves develop a rich, concentrated flavor rather than a bland taste. The main lesson is straightforward. Herbs thrive on balance, not abundance. 4. Succulents and cacti. Succulents and cacti require growing conditions that are dramatically different from those preferred by most other plants. Their roots are adapted to survive in environments where rainfall is infrequent, soils are highly mineralized, and moisture disappears quickly. Because of this, planting them in standard potting soil is one of the fastest ways to create problems, particularly root rot. For these plants, soil structure is the most important factor. Begin with a minimal organic component, using roughly 1 part cocoa coir. This provides just enough moisture retention and root support without keeping the soil wet for too long. Next, incorporate 2 parts perlite or pumice. This dramatically improves drainage and increases the amount of air available around the roots. Pumice offers an additional advantage because it adds weight and stability while maintaining excellent porosity. If possible, include coarse sand or small gravel as well. These materials further improve drainage and help mimic the rocky soils found in many desert environments. Be sure to use coarse sand rather than fine sand, since fine particles can compact and restrict airflow. Compost should be used only in small quantities. While a little compost can provide trace nutrients, excessive organic matter retains too much moisture and significantly increases the likelihood of root diseases. Succulents generally require oxygen-rich root zones, far more than nutrient-rich soils. Watering practices are equally important. These plants prefer a cycle of thorough watering followed by complete drying. The soil should become almost entirely dry before the next watering is applied. A fast-draining mix makes this process possible and helps replicate natural growing conditions. Container choice also affects success. Terracotta pots are often ideal because their porous walls allow moisture to evaporate more quickly. Plastic containers hold water longer and therefore require greater attention to watering frequency. One of the most common mistakes is frequent, shallow watering. Succulents actually perform best when watered deeply but less often. Proper soil structure supports this natural rhythm. When growing conditions are ideal, leaves remain plump and firm. Plants maintain compact growth instead of becoming stretched. Stems stay healthy and free from rot. Roots appear white, vigorous, and well-developed. If the soil is unsuitable, warning signs usually appear quickly, including yellowing foliage, soft tissue near the base, and collapsing stems. For succulents and cacti, success comes from simplicity: less compost, less moisture, more airflow, more drainage. Rather than focusing on heavy feeding, the objective is to recreate the dry, mineral-rich environments these plants evolved to inhabit. Once you learn how to modify your basic soil recipe for herbs and succulents, you gain the ability to customize growing media for virtually any plant. That is the point where gardening becomes much more flexible. When you stop purchasing specialized soil blends for every plant and begin creating exactly the conditions each species truly requires. 5. Strawberries. Although strawberries are relatively small plants, they have very specific requirements. Their roots are shallow, their growth is rapid, and they need a carefully balanced environment to produce large, sweet, flavorful berries rather than small, disappointing fruit. The soil must remain consistently moist, moderately fertile, and slightly acidic all at once. Strawberries are sensitive to imbalances. When the soil becomes too dry, fruit often remains undersized and poorly developed. When it stays excessively wet, roots may lose access to oxygen and eventually rot. When nutrients become limited, fruit production declines rapidly. Because of this, maintaining balance is the key to success. Start with a standard mix consisting of cocoa coir for moisture management, compost for fertility and microbial life, and perlite for aeration and drainage. Then make several adjustments tailored specifically to strawberries. First, increase the compost content slightly. Strawberries are continuous producers throughout the growing season. They generate leaves, runners, flowers, and fruit simultaneously, which requires a steady supply of nutrients. Additional compost provides gentle, long-lasting fertility without overwhelming the root system. It also improves moisture retention, an important benefit for plants whose roots remain close to the soil surface. Adding pine bark fines is also highly beneficial whenever available. Pine bark contributes in two important ways. It gradually encourages the slightly acidic conditions that strawberries prefer. It also improves soil structure by creating air spaces that reduce compaction and promote healthier roots. Strawberries generally perform best in mildly acidic soil, and pine bark helps maintain this environment while improving water movement throughout the container. The finished mix should feel loose and airy while still retaining adequate moisture. Water should soak in evenly rather than rushing straight through the pot. After watering, the soil should remain comfortably moist for a day or two without becoming saturated. Because strawberries produce fruit continuously, regular feeding is helpful. Incorporating a small amount of worm castings at planting time supplies slow-release nitrogen along with beneficial microorganisms. During heavy fruit production, a light liquid fertilizer every 2 to 3 weeks can help sustain yields. Consistent watering is especially important for strawberries and has a major impact on fruit quality. Irregular moisture often results in misshapen berries and reduced sweetness. Stable moisture levels allow plants to direct energy toward fruit development instead of recovering from environmental stress. Applying mulch to the surface of the container can further improve performance. Materials such as straw or shredded leaves help keep roots cooler, reduce moisture loss through evaporation, prevent soil from splashing onto fruit, maintain more consistent moisture levels. In warm climates, containers can heat up rapidly, stressing the shallow root system. Using a slightly larger container together with mulch helps stabilize both temperature and moisture. When the growing environment is well balanced, the results are easy to see. Leaves stay healthy and uniformly green. Flower production remains strong and reliable. Berries develop good size and firm texture. Flavor becomes richer because the plant experiences less stress. If the soil becomes too dense, plants may wilt, even when moisture is present. If drainage is excessive, fruit development may suffer due to inconsistent water availability. Strawberries do not require the extreme drainage preferred by succulents. They also do not need the heavy fertility demanded by tomatoes. Instead, they perform best with steady, balanced support. Slightly acidic soil, moderate and consistent nutrition, moist but well-aerated growing conditions. Once these factors are balanced correctly, strawberries become exceptionally rewarding plants, producing repeated harvests and transforming ordinary containers into highly productive growing systems rather than simple decorative planters.